Hi guys, I'm Dr. Tob. So welcome to my new video on automating server setup in the cloud with Ansible. So in my previous video, I walked us through how to create a Linux server in the cloud. I also demonstrated the first 5 things to do after creating a Linux server in the cloud. So in case you have not watched the video, I'll put a link in the description, and also you can see a pop-up on the screen, so you can click and go and watch it. So in this video, I will be introducing us to Ansible, which is an open source automation platform, and also show us how to automate server and configuration with Ansible. So to make this tutorial very easy to follow, I'm going to drop an outline of what we're going to be discussing in this video. So in this video, I will be discussing Ansible, some of the benefits. I will be going through brief overview of Ansible, and I'll also explore its benefits for automating IT infrastructure, and also giving us key features. I will be discussing some of the key features, concepts, YAML syntax, and what is playbook, inventory, modules, and many more. And also I will be walking us through how to install Ansible on various operating systems. And lastly, we will be automating our setup in the cloud with Ansible. So we will be replicating and improving on our previous tutorial where we set up Linux server in the cloud, this time using Ansible to automate the whole process and the whole setup. So you get it. So let's continue. Ansible is a very powerful tool for automating and simplifying server setup and configuration management tasks. So Ansible is an open source automation platform that allows you to automate repetitive tasks such as server setup, configuration management, and application deployment across multiple servers or network devices. Some of the key features of Ansible are it is agentless. So it has an agentless architecture whereby you don't need to install a daemon or an agent on the target system, unlike on some other configuration management tools. So it has this advantage and it's very nice. So this simplifies the server setup and reduces overhead, making it very easy to manage large-scale deployments. Also, there is simplicity of use, very clean syntax, YAML syntax for defining playbook, which is human readable, the same way you define your Docker or Kubernetes config. So it's the same YAML, so it's very easy to read. And also, it is independent execution, which means if you run it multiple times, as long as the desired state has been achieved, no change will be affected. So, and also you can run it as an infrastructure as a service, that's IaaC, which means you can declaratively, once you define your playbook, you can run it anytime and your desired state will be achieved. So you can set up your server, configure your system, manage different devices from that. And one key advantage of Kubernetes Ansible, and the reason why I love it so much, is because of its extensibility and integration with other platforms. So it has integration with almost any tool or program, device, anything. So there is always extension for it or plugin for that. So, and also another advantage is scalable. So it is very scalable. Once you can define a small, or you can use a single server or a single deployment to orchestrate enterprise level infrastructure because it's run parallel. Okay guys, so right now I'm going to be walking you through how to get started with using Ansible. And the first thing you want to do is to install Ansible. Just to let you know, Ansible can only be installed on a Unix system or a Linux system. So if you are using Windows, sorry, no way. So you have to use it on a Unix system. The control node has to be installed on a Unix system, even though you can use it to control a Windows system, but the control machine has to be a Unix system, a Linux system. So right now, there are various ways to install Ansible. So I'm going to be walking you through the simplest method, which is using installing it with pipx. So the first thing I'm going to do is to install pipx. So, but before you do that, you have to be assured that if you don't have pipx installed, so just use this command to install pipx. So it will install pipx for you. So once that is done, then you can move on to install Ansible. So I will wait for it, catch it, and so on. So now we have playbooks installed. So if I do which we have playbooks installed. So the next thing is installing Ansible. So I'm going to copy the command directly from the documentation page and install Ansible. So it's going to take a while. We'll just chill. I will see you very soon. So right now Ansible has been installed. So we can now. So now we have Ansible installed. So let's get started with using Ansible now. Okay guys, so after you have installed Ansible on your system, now the next thing to set up is to configure your project and write some Ansible playbooks that will automate your deployment. So the first thing to want to do is to make a directory where you will store your Ansible code, and you can do that with make directory. Just name it anything, Ansible deployment. So in my case, Ansible deployment. Then you can open it. For me, I'm going to open it in the VS Code. So for easy, that is done. So once that is done, so first, the next thing I want to create an inventory. So the way I like to create inventory is I like to create a folder where I store all my inventory. So you can actually group them in different ways. So I create a folder where I store my inventory, and I create a file. So the file, create a file main.yaml. So and this is my inventory file. So in this inventory file, a couple of things will go in. One of the things that will go in is all. So you write all. It's a YAML file. Then host. So this host will be the IP address or the domain name of the server you want to connect to. So in my case, I'm going to go to my. So I've already created a Digital Ocean droplet. Then I'm going to go there. Then I paste it here. Once I do that, so and that's it. You are done with your inventory. So, but your inventory can be much more robust or much more detailed than that if you want. So, for example, you can add a couple of other things and maybe group it in several ways. For example, this is an example of another inventory. You can see this one. We have web servers and DB servers grouped separately, so you can have much more details. But for now, I'm not going to be using it. Let's just go with the simple approach, not complicate things. Let me. Okay, yeah, good. Now, once you are done with your inventory, the next thing I want to create a playbook. So I also like to create my I like to create another folder called playbooks. Then inside that folder, that's where I will have my playbook for running, which will contain all the instruction for perform on the target server. So then I'll create a file and do call this one setup server.yaml, and that's it. So now let's start writing our YAML file. So we want to start a YAML file with 3 dashes. Then you write the host. So this host is all. So we are targeting all servers, and this is where I got the all servers from. So you can see all servers. So maybe I want to target the web server. I can target this web server or DB server if I'm using this approach, but currently I'm using only this approach. So I'll target the all servers, then I can write become true. Then I will list the task that I want to perform here. So in this task, this is the task one that I want to perform. Let me just for easy on so in this task one I want to add a non-root user. So this is what we're going to do. So and to do that, we are going to have a name for our task. So it's going to be add a non-root. I believe you know what comments are. So the previous one I wrote are comments. Now this one will be the name of the task. We're going to use a module. So the name of the module is Ansible .builtin .user. So that's the name of the module that will be used. So it is that module that contains the set of instructions for Ansible to do. So the name of our user I want to create, I'll give it here. So I want to create a username called Dr. Tob on the server. I want to create a password. Now I want to create a password. So when you want to create a password, it is not advisable to put your plain password inside the file because you are going to be mostly committing it into JIT, and we wouldn't want people to see the password and all that. Create a password. I'm going to create a password hash. So, and it's that password hash that I'm going to put inside here. And to get a password hash is very simple, right? Especially when you are using a Linux system. So you just open your terminal, then you do type this command, make password dash method. So it will ask you for the password you want to use. So I will type the password. So after you type it, so it will give you the hash of the password. You can see it's giving me the hash of the password. Then I can copy it and paste it inside here, and that's how you create a password. So now we have successfully created one user now. So we can save it and run it to see if our task is working fine. So in order to run our playbook, we are going to be using our terminal and using this command. So Ansible playbook dash u. So that's the user you want to use. And of note, before you can be able to use Ansible is using SSH behind the scene. So you must have SSH access to the server you are trying to connect to. So for example, this server I have SSH access to it, and let me show you. So if I copy you must have SSH access to the server you are trying to connect to. So because Ansible is using SSH behind the scene, so you can see I have SSH access to the server. So and that's how you. Okay, after we have set up our Ansible playbook, so the next thing we'll open a terminal, then we run Ansible playbook, and this is the command we are going to use: Ansible playbook dash u. That's the root user. That's the user you want to use to access them. My private SSH key. So and it's located at this location. Then dash I. So the I is for inventory. So my inventory file is located in the /inventory /main.yml. Then I'll put my playbook /playbooks and set up server. So what we are expecting after running this command is to create a new user with a specified username and password. So okay, sorry, I had a mistake typing the YML. I didn't put the M there, so I think that's okay by now. So now you can see now it's now running and it's gathering facts. So it will take a while and execute the command. So by that time, if I SSH into my server, I should have the task done. So it's now connected. You can see connected to the server, and now it's now making change. So it made only one change, and that's it. That's been done. So if I open a new terminal now and I SSH into my server, root, no, the IP address of the server. So now, how do I know if I have a new user created? So if I list /home, I should see the new user. You can see this is the new user. Now I can actually even sudo to the user, to the new su to the new user if I want. So now I'm in the new user. So if I do who am I, you can see. So it has successfully created a new user, and that's essentially telling us that we have done the step one. So now let's continue to the step two. So the task two is to, let me even put a comment here. Task two is to add a public SSH key. Currently we can't log in. We can't log in directly with our new user, so we have to add those other command here. Content. So now under command, so we do public SSH key. So and here we are going to use another Ansible module called Ansible.post6.authorize key. So with that, this requires username, the user. So the user want to upload the key to, then the key file here, the key file here is a little bit the key file. So for the key file, we are going to be linking to a local file that we have created, the public key, the public key we want to use. So we are going to be using lookup file. So this technique is similar to using path in JavaScript in Node.js. So where our SSH key is. So I'm not going to be using my default SSH key. I'm going to be using another one which I have created, but essentially that one has been added already. So I'm going to be using another one, and here then there is state. So this state is present. So this one is more like a command to tell it to do what, to do the task. Then I'm going to be quickly adding the other task as well. Other task. So that's it. Not to waste our time. So since we have been able to connect to our server, so now, and that's it. So this is our Ansible playbook. Now if you run this, since we have already created the user, and if you remember clearly, I told you Ansible is idempotent, so which means if you run it multiple times, if the action has been performed before, so it won't make any more changes to that. So since we have already done this, so it's not going to create a new user again. So it's just going to apply the other changes that we just added, and that's how Ansible works. So let's run our Ansible playbook since we have added all the necessary steps. So I'm going to run it using the previous command. And wait for it to do its thing. So now it's now currently doing its thing now. So you can see the first one, it didn't make any change because it had already done that before. Now these are the new one that I added, and these are the new changes that it's making now. So it's now currently updating the system and packages, so corresponding to our fourth task here. So once it finished that, then we should know. So in total it made 3 changes. So yeah, and that's it. So we have successfully use Ansible to automate our server setup. So we can easily confirm that if we go and SSH into our server, SSH into our server, from here we can now use our name, the new user that we just added. We copy the password and then the new user that we just added. No, okay, sorry, I use SSH-I then because I want to access it with the new user. Then I can now use pick the control at like this. So now you can see if I do who am I, you can see if I do host name CTL, so you can see in the details. You can see that the host name has changed as well, corresponding to what we have in our system. So and that's it, you can see. Okay, so guys, that's how you automate your server setup with Ansible. Ansible is a very powerful tool that you can use to automate any infrastructure. It has so many modules and plugins that you can use, ranging from AWS to different systems. So it's very powerful tool, and it has so more. There's so much more to do with Ansible. So if you want me to go deeper into using Ansible, let me know in the comment section so I can have a tutorial series on specifically for Ansible. This is just an introductory video for using Ansible to automate your server setup based on what we did the last time on my video. So if you haven't watched the video, so you can, I'll put the link in the description. This is a follow-up video. Thanks.